Hey guys, what's going on? Thought I'd do a quick update video on Jason Bond's small account journey and also consistent passive profits from Lance at thetatraders.com. And so we've benefited for the last 4 months really nicely with this really bullish market. And I think everybody's been kind of spoiled basically. So we've been seeing massive profits from any service that has a bullish bias. Because really, there's been a little bit of chop, but it's been pretty much uphill since about May, right? So you've seen maybe a pullback here, and now we're pulling back, but it's a bit more substantial this time. I think we've had this step down. Try and zoom in here, and had this like step down here, and then this big red candle on the 4 hour here, really selling off hard today. So it's definitely a little bit worrisome, especially with the credit rating downgrade potentially being the trigger for this sell-off, right? So still, the uptrend is intact. It's not too bad, but we definitely have seen a bit of a pullback. So if you went long up here, you're definitely starting to hurt within a few days down to here. So yeah, it's been pretty significant. Not the end of the world. Like, we had this sell-off the other day and I thought that was bad, and then it bounced right back. And like, okay, cool. This is not bouncing. This is continuing down. So not the best, right? And especially bad for people who just started with Jason Bond's small account journey. That's basically a service where we're selling bull puts and very close to the money and hoping to see significant growth from those. So Jason has had a really nice run. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's turned $2,000 into $31,000. I don't know what his unrealized losses are now, and we're going to talk about those a little bit. But he started this back in April, so first entry was April 24th for Journey A. And so if you look at this all the way down to here, so I'm going to scroll all the way down. So today was August 4th, and you can see he was at $31,856 realized. Unfortunately for Jason as well, though, he is still holding several that are definitely at max loss, and those are those like NVDA here, Meta, and Tesla. These things were expiring on the 4th, so like these ones, you can see where the cursor is right here. These 4 trades have been significant losses for Jason. Now, the cool thing for Jason is he's still up like 700% from his starting point. The bad thing is there was a sale a couple of weeks ago where a lot of people joined, and maybe were starting to take these trades with a lot of money, right? So they might have been pouring into them, looking at this track record, because who wouldn't, right? You look at this track record, and you're like, it's just basically wins. There's like 4 losses out of 60 trades. So the chances of you taking a loss are pretty low if you join one of these things. But unfortunately for a lot of people, if they piled in with $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 into these trades, they were all max losses. So people are going to see their money go up in flames. And that's not Jason's fault. Jason's doing a great job. He really is. And it's timing. This is the problem with directional systems. If there's any directional bias to them, they're very hard to replicate for subscribers unless you started where the guru started, right? So Jason is still great. He's probably, even if he takes max loss on the 4 trades that are not yet updated, even if he takes max loss in those, he's still up like $20,000 from 2,000. So it's really like, you can't call that a bad strategy. It's just that there's large pullbacks. And I think therein lies the rub, right? So the problem is that for these strategies, if there is a losing streak and you happen to get unlucky and join and start trading hard during that losing streak, it's going to put you off the service and you're going to move on to something else or just give up completely. And I think you've got to realize that the problem is not the strategy, it's the timing. So, for example, you definitely shouldn't just give up. You should just start trying harder, because the chances of a long green streak happening and you're recouping your money is pretty large. I mean, look here, his last loss was here, and then he went on this green streak for like 20 trades. And the problem is a lot of people won't do that. They'll go, oh, this is a scam, or this guy's full of it or whatever, and they'll end up giving up and just like saying it's a scam, giving them a bad review on Trustpilot or something, and then leaving. That might hopefully is the minority of people, but unfortunately, given the fact there was a sale where you could get the service for $600 for a year, it's probably not going to bode well for Jason's teaching services. Even though he's a fantastic teacher, he has a lot of support from people saying he's a fantastic teacher and trader. And I can show you that in the chat room right here. So if we go into the small account journey chat room, and just let it load. Taking a bit of time to load here, but weirdly it's branded Jason Bond Picks, which hasn't been a thing for a long time. Not quite sure what's going on with that. But you can see from the comments in the chat room, see Jedi here saying, Jason Bond, you are a wizard, and the small account journey group is a bunch of small account people who can really use your help, so please do not abandon us. Jason, I think, is feeling the pressure, and the guy's really burned out. He works so hard for everybody. I remember I had him on the channel, and I felt bad asking him to come on, and he just kept asking more and more questions, and he was just up for helping people and talking to people, and you know, it's really good. He works way too hard. But he's basically saying that, you know, if you can look through like the comments in the chat room, you can see this guy is saying, please relax, I teach at Washington State University, I guess, and I've never had 100% students happy with my performance, but I'm one of the top professors, so it's just the way it is. You were a teacher as well. We love you, we love your service. Don't let one or two people change what you do. There is going to be a vocal minority, always, that are like, you're a scam artist, and that can really unsettle people that run services. I've tried to run services before, and it's hard. It's hard. You always get somebody complaining. And I understand, it's an emotional game. There's lots of money on the line here. And if you join at a bad time, or you take a loss, or you go in too hard on trades, then, you know, it's always going to be a little bit stressful. George here saying, you need to look at the percent of people complaining versus those that are satisfied. Again, it comes down to timing. The people that started with Jason are satisfied. The people that started at the end of the run, temporary drawdown basically, are not going to be satisfied, and they're going to complain, and it's going to upset Jason. And people don't care. They're like, oh, we paid you, I don't care. This is a hard business, guys. This is a hard business to be in. And he says here, I'm 100% burnout. I don't blame him. He does seem to be burnt out. He works all the time. All day, every day. All night, every night. All weekend, every weekend. Teaching, streaming, alerting. You know, he just does it all. The guy he's a legend. He really is. He's a legend. So please, if you're in small account journey, don't be freaked out by a drawdown. Give it time. So people are a little bit freaked out. Now, all that being said, I get it. So the problem with these high risk, high reward plays, which is what these small account journeys have to be, right? You have to go hard if you're going to make, you know, if you're going to turn $2,000 into $100,000, you're going to have to take a lot of risk. I mean, that's inevitable. I think Jason's doing it the best possible way. However, doing these spreads close to the money like this is, in my opinion, not ideal for a vast majority of traders. It might be if you desperately need to turn $2,000 into $10,000 or $20,000, where you really don't have a choice. It's boom or bust, but you have to know that that's what you're getting into, right? You have to know that you're going to either turn this $2,000 into $50,000, or you're going to lose it all and try again and try again. It's just the way it is. It's not a guaranteed system. It's high risk, high reward. And that's because basically Jason does these spreads that are close to the money. Now, one way that I've been really satisfied is using Lence's consistent passive profits. So for you guys that are not in this already, I would highly recommend this if you have a significant account. So if you have $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 or $100,000 plus account size, I would go with something that's more chilled out, right? Because like we have to value how much stress is put into these things, right? Trading shouldn't be one of those things where you spend your whole time just like freaking out hoping that something bounces. That defeats the point of making extra money trading, in my opinion, right? So my philosophy with trading is it is supposed to be passive. It's supposed to be relaxing. It's not supposed to be a full-time desk job with 10 monitors, freaking out as SPY takes a, you know, $2 dip or whatever. You've got to in my opinion, trading should be like this, right? So what I suggest you do is, if you haven't checked out the consistent passive profit system that Lance and I are running, is put your email in the link in the description below and sign up for the training. This webinar is a replay webinar, so it's not a live training. We do run lives occasionally, but this one will be like a repeat one, and it'll also give you some more information on what the system is. And this is by far the best system I've ever come across. So Lance has taught me how to do it. I've been doing it for a few months now. I love it. Made consistent money, haven't taken a single loss. When I place a trade, I'm not freaked out in the least. I don't even look at it. I know that it's not going to be tested. And that's because these trades are placed far enough out of the money that they're not going to be tested, or very, very rarely going to be tested at all. Even the highest of high risk ones barely get tested. So let me give you an example of the highest risk one that I've seen so far, and I still made 70% of the potential profit from it. So even though it was tested and technically could have been considered a failing trade. So we sold these MES puts about 9 days ago. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we sold these. This is a covered strangle, essentially. We sold them down here where this first red line is, so that was the strike of the first one. And the strike of the second put was down here at the second line down here, so 44.70. And so this is the highest risk that we've ever done. And even though the market immediately had a sell-off, essentially, all the way down here, we still exited this morning for 70% profits up here, around about here, actually. So it was day of expiration. They expired today, and they could have expired in full profit, as it would have been. We would have been assigned on these, because at least this top one, not the bottom one, that would still got us full profit. So this bottom one, of course, we got full profit on. This top one, we got significant profit on, but not the full profit. It did close beneath it. We would have been assigned this MES. Luckily for me, though, because I don't want to be bothered with that, even though you can make more money when that actually happens, I sold or bought to close here. So we made 70% on the strangle, which was these two red lines right here. And that's the highest risk possible for this service. And I've done dozens and dozens of trades now. I haven't lost on a single one. And so to put it into perspective, when people in small account journey were freaking out because we had this dip, so we had this dip from here to here, most of the stuff that we have at the moment is away down here at 4,000. So we're still miles away from even being tested on this. And I actually have some that are 3,600 away down here. So we have a long way to go before I'd start to get even slightly nervous on the trades that are in the consistent passive profit system. And while these won't yield 50%, 100%, 5,000% growth over days or weeks, or even months, they're consistent. And that is the key here. Is like, I'm at the point in my trading career where I just want consistent. I don't want to wake up on a Friday morning and be freaking out because the market's gapping down, and I have the potential to give back half of my year's profits in a day. And so this is why I'm really advocating for Lance's consistent passive profit system. So definitely check this out, guys. If you want to email me about it, I'll put my email in the description below. But if you're tired of being at the market's mercy, where you're doing this high risk, high reward stuff, because you're done, you're just done with it. You keep getting hit by the market. You might make, your account might go up 30% and then it goes down 70%. Then it goes up 20% and then it goes down 30%. If you're done with that volatility and you want consistency, you want to be able to sleep at night, and you want to be able to make these trades basically make you passive income, but you're not thinking you're going to double your account in a month or 2 months or 6 months, that you might make 40%, 50%, 60% in a year, then I highly, highly recommend our consistent passive profit system. It's fantastic. I think you'll be overwhelmed with how easy trading can actually be. And check this page out. There's some testimonials on here. And yeah, hopefully you guys try that. I still love Jason Bond's small account journeys, but you have to realize what you're getting into, right? You're getting into high risk, high reward. You're not going to be able to turn $2,000 into 50,000 or 100,000 without some setbacks along the way. And if you join while the setbacks are happening, it's going to hurt. And unfortunately, that's what we've seen recently. Hopefully you guys watching that are in the small account journey haven't been burned over the last week, and just trust me, he'll get back on his winning streak Just, you know, make sure you stick with the system, and I think you'll be fine. Alright guys, talk to you soon.